Over the course of this Capstone project, we ran into quite a few speed bumps, but we had some ups and downs. The biggest issue probably would be our first game, and when I say this, I mean we essentially made two games over the last 4 months. Originally, our idea started out as an arena-based fighting game, something along the lines of Tekken or Mortal Kombat, that sort of genre. We developed this for around 2 months, didn't make a lot of progress, and what we did was in small increments. So uh, the first month was really smooth. Everybody in the team was feeling pretty pumped about our last big assignment. We made a lot of progress until we started to hit some of the harder stuff. We needed to figure out why the game wasn't feeling fun. It felt laborious. There wasn't a whole lot of progress going on at the time, so we were kind of going in circles. And it really weighed on us pretty hard, and we felt like we hit a wall. The AI was horrible, the combat was muddled, complicated, and pretty boring. So eventually we came to the realization that our game was suffering from an identity crisis. So 2 months into our project, we completely changed the game. We moved to a platformer. This is what the game was telling us it wanted to be. All of the mechanics were pointing to this genre of game. So while we started off trying to make a game that was almost completely based on the combat that the player would do, the combat really wasn't fun. But what we did have was a character that was fun to move and jump with and cling to the walls, that sort of thing. So changing to a platformer was the best thing that could have happened, unfortunately at the worst possible time. With 2 months remaining in our Capstone project, we took a few bare bones mechanics, junked everything else, and set about to making a completely new game. Our process from here worked pretty well for us. We tried to use Perforce as much as we could, but it was giving us a lot of errors, and a lot of things just didn't transfer over well. So we started using Unity packages instead. And we had everything sectioned off into folders: art, animation, textures, the scripting, and we prefabbed entire areas. This made working a lot easier. While one person might have been doing level design or building more on the level itself, another could be adding art or changing up some scripts, adding audio, that sort of thing, without affecting each other. So this is how we pretty much worked for the rest of the project. I think a lot of us learned a lot of different things. Something that we went about was waste management at the beginning of this project. Things weren't managed very well. People were stepping on each other's toes, doing things that others wanted to do, or working on something that another person had already done. And just the communication was lacking and causing a lot of problems. After our game change, everyone seemed to realized the method that we were using wasn't working. So we delved deeper into code, and some of us dug into art, some of us dug into audio, and for each and every one of us, I can say that we've grown in leaps and bounds from at that point. Other things that we learned was efficiency, doing things in the right way, working smart, not hard. Try to make your own life easier by getting good setups before you really try to implement. And yeah, it's something we learned closer to the end of the project, but it was definitely a good lesson. Our current game is a platformer. You play as a warrior ninja. You're being guided through a journey, and you have to defeat 4 different warriors. There's no real backstory. The purpose is just to defeat all 4 of the warriors and become the victor. You start in a forest area at the bottom of a mountain and work your way up and through the mountain until you reach the temple where the master is. And defeating the master leads to victory and ascension over the temple.